Welcome again to our series of webinars. This is Immigrants Rising. Today we're going to be we're hosting the webinar number 11, Retirement Options for Immigrants Entrepreneurs. The presenter will be Jorge Alvarez. Before we continue, I'd like to remind you that you can access our website, immigrantsrising.org. You can find all of these webinars, guides, and handouts if you go to the section Resources. You are going to be pointing to the section Resources. And from there, you can select what type of resource you need or you're looking for. We have resources, different topics, undocumented hustle, immigration, business plans, worker co-ops, credit and financial capital webinar, so many different webinars. The presenter today will be Jorge Alvarez. I am a member of Radiant Consulting Cooperative, being 9 years working in the nonprofit sector in accounting, graduated with a degree in bachelor's degree in applied economics with minors in finance and accounting, and I'm part of the founding member of the California Dream Network in California. This is our presentation outline. We'll be talking about the Social Security pension, other retirement options for immigrants community, and we'll be talking about addressing the questions that you may have. So what is the retirement for you? And what comes to your mind when you hear the word retirement? Retirement is the ability to be able to live off of savings or the product of investments that you have made throughout your life once you reach a certain age. We hear people say that people saying that they want to retire at the age of 50. People retire at the age of 62, 63. And most recently, we hear about stories of people retiring in their 30s or 40s. So what this means is that they have either invested money into certain plans, or they have a plan that is actually producing money so that they don't have to work anymore and they can live off of the earnings or the savings that they actually have made throughout this time. And yes, retirement is an option for everybody in this country, regardless of the immigration status. Anybody can have a retirement plan. Anybody can enjoy the benefits of a retirement. We're going to be talking about Social Security pension first. That's the most common pension or form of retirement through the Social Security. And in order for this to happen, the person has to be eligible. It's eligible to receive the pension after 40 cycles. Now, in 2018, one cycle was the equivalent of $1,320 in Social Security taxable earnings. And there was a maximum of 4 cycles in the year of 2018. This means that the person had to, for every $1,320 that the person earned, that was equivalent to 1 cycle, and had a maximum of 4 cycles throughout the year. This means that in order to achieve the 40 cycles, if we continue with this rate, the person will be able to be eligible for the Social Security payment after 10 years of contributions. So 10 years is the minimum time that an individual has to work before enjoying the benefits of a Social Security pension. There are other pensions out there at the workplace. One of them is, for example, the 401k plans. These contributions are made and are considered to be pre-tax. Income tax is applied. Some employers may match the employee contribution, and it's taxable at the time of the withdrawal. Well, what this means when it says pre-tax means that it is actually collected before before the tax is applied at the moment of receiving, before the taxation is applied at the moment of receiving the income. So, for example, if a person earns $3,000 a month, and this person is contributing $1,000 to his or her 401k plan, so then the only taxable amount is $3,000. $4,000 minus $1,000 that are going to the 401k plan. So then at the end of the month, the person earned $3,000, and those $3,000 are taxed depending on the bracket in which the individual is. And yes, sometimes employers will match a certain percentage to the contribution that the employee is putting aside. We hear this very common. These are ways in which companies retain employees. And it's taxable at the time of the withdrawal. Just because it's pre-tax and just because the person is not paying taxes at the moment today, doesn't mean that it's safe, it's exempt from paying taxes. Most of the time, these plans, once they mature, let's say that the person retires at the age of 62, and the person starts collecting money from the 401k plan, that is when the money is going to be taxable. So it is not taxable right now, today, when it's earned, but it's taxable later in life once the money is collected. Another account that we have is called the health spending account, HSA. Now, this is not a retirement account. This is a type of account that is considered also pre-tax. The contributions are made before income tax. Contributions are made before income tax is applied, and to be used only to pay for medical treatment. And it has some restrictions. Basically, if the individual has, let's say that the individual has a dental plan, and he's going to be visiting the dentist throughout the year. And if this account is offered by his or her employer, the individual can put money on the side that is going to be towards that dental work. For example, it could be $500 a month. Again, out of the total wage that the individual is earning, $500 are going to be deducted, and they are not going to be taxed. At the end of the year, this money has to be used only for the dental purposes or for health purposes. Some restrictions may apply, and that is depending on the plan and depending also on the account, the health spending account. It really depends on the conditions at the time of signing the contract. Another option for retirement is having a business or real estate investments. This is basically investing in the property and wait for equity to increase in value. This may seem like a safe, quote-unquote, safe investment with guaranteed returns. However, the owner of the property or the business is responsible to pay property tax and mortgage payments, and the return on investment may take years. This is another option. We see a lot of businesses, a lot of people that decide to go into the business, and that's how they make a living. And at the end of the day, when they retire, they basically live off of the earnings of the business, whether it is from money that they saved throughout the years or money that the business is actually making. For example, if the individual is no longer working in the business because he or she was able to create a system in which the business is totally dependent, then the business owner can live off of the earnings of the business. On the other side, the real estate investment, it's basically sitting on the property for a long period of time and at the end collecting the equity. Again, this is another form of investment, but it's a long term. It may take years, 20, 30, 40 years, or even more. Stock investments. Stock investments is another option that we have. Now, the investor must have a clear understanding on how the stock market works. It is high risk is involved because markets can be volatile and always unpredictable. I want to mention that lately, in the last couple of years, we have heard about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. These are not currencies. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are not the traditional currencies that we have, and they're very volatile. In fact, they have been around for about 10 years, and they were a response to a recession that we had in 2008. So we will be able to see how they respond once another recession hits our economy. But in the meantime, they have been very, very volatile. People can lose money or can make money in a blink of an eye. Some restrictions. Now, in terms of stock, there are some restrictions. There's a restriction of legal permanent residency or U.S. citizenship. For example, this is something that I personally experienced. Mary Lynch from Bank of America did not allow me to open an account if I didn't show that I was a legal permanent resident. So this is applied. It might be the same restriction might apply if the individual is a DACA recipient, but you may have to consult with the company that you're opening the account with. Now we have also investment apps. This is very common, this is very popular, especially among millennials. And it has become so popular in the last couple of years. We have, for example, Acorns. We have Robinhood. Acorns helps you to invest money in different accounts, and it's usually spare change from the money that you spend using your debit card or credit card. Robinhood is investing directly into the stock market. Stash is another way of investing. Stash invests directly into already portfolios that they have designed. And you can choose how much risk you want to take, whether it's going to be a portfolio with high risk, medium risk, or low risk. E-Trade is known for trading in stock, mutual funds, and other forms of investment. And Coinbase is basically investing in cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin, lithium, and any other sources of cryptocurrency. So this is very new, very new in the sense that it has been around for less than 5 years, probably. And again, sometimes they have the restrictions with regards of legal permanent residency or citizenship. Now, I'd like to talk to you about the other account, individual retirement account, or commonly known as IRA. The individual retirement account, or IRA, we have two versions of this. We have the traditional IRA and we have what is called the Roth IRA. Traditional IRA. The traditional IRA is pre-tax, as we have mentioned before. This means that any money that is allocated or that is allocated into this account is actually before paying taxes. There's a maximum contribution, annual contribution of $6,000 by 2019 before the age of 50, and $6,500 after 50 or older. That means that once a person reaches 50 years of age, he or she can contribute an extra $500 more a year to the pension. Now, there's an early withdrawal penalty of 10% and been included as income for the year of withdrawal. That means that because it's pre-tax at the moment that the money is earned, when there's an early withdrawal is a withdrawal of money before the age of 59. So for example, if I'm 35 years old and I want to withdraw money when I reach 40, I will pay 10% of the money that I withdraw. Let's say that I withdraw $20,000. I will have to pay 10% on penalty, which will be $2,000, and I will have to pay taxes on the $20,000 that I withdraw. So as you can see, depending on the quantity, on the amount, the taxation or the penalty can increase. It can be significantly. It can be something significant, big. Roth IRA. Roth IRA, different from the traditional IRA, has some benefits. For example, it's considered after tax. The Roth IRA, the contributions that the individual makes to the Roth IRA are actually after paying the tax. This means that it's with what is called disposable income, or, say it in another way, the money that after the individual has been taxed with income tax, Medicare, Social Security, the money that is left can go towards this account. This is, for example, the money that is left, the disposable income is, for example, the money that is left to pay for rent, to pay for the vehicle, the money that we are left after being taxed. Again, there's a maximum annual contribution of $6,000 before the age of 50. And there's a maximum annual contribution of $6,500 at the age of 50 or older. This is for 2019. This is a non-transferable, and this is non-transferable at the time of withdrawal. Because there's no, as you notice, there's no penalty. There's no penalty on paying taxes on this because taxes have been already paid. There could be a penalty by the guardian of this account. For example, if you open the account with a credit union, perhaps in the agreement there is a penalty for withdrawing the money before the account matures or before the time agreed. But that depends on the guardian of the account. No penalty for any withdrawal or amounts that are part of the contributions. Again, that depends. However, penalties and taxes are applied on earnings on your Roth IRA. Yes, at the moment that the Roth IRA, that the money is withdrawn from the account, penalties can be applied, or tax is applied on the earnings of the Roth IRA. So now that we have explored the different accounts, let me tell you that for the immigrant community, the individual retirement accounts are perhaps the best retirement tools or options, especially for somebody who's a DACA recipient or who has a temporary status in this current economy and political environment. Whether it's a traditional IRA or whether it's a Roth IRA, those are perhaps the best options that this individual has. A couple of things to consider with IRAs. Open an account with a credit union first. It is important to get the foot on the door. Once you have opened the account and you are making contributions, look for other options that will get you a better return of investment. Basically go around and check for what other accounts are out there in the market and what is the return of investments that they offer. You never know, you could find something better. And if you decide to move your money from one IRA account to another one, you can also do it within a frame of 60 days. That way, you are not penalized by the IRS. It is important to have a power of attorney. The power of attorney is used to represent somebody, and is done with a notary public. And basically, you're giving somebody the power to represent you in the case that you cannot be present. The cost can be between $25 and $30. The way this works is that I, as an individual, if for any reason I cannot be present at the moment to withdraw the money, I can have a power of attorney in which I'm giving the power to somebody else to represent me. For immigrant communities, it's advisable to have 2 or 3 power of attorneys with 2 or 3 individuals that you fully trust. Especially, and make sure that they're U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents. That way, they can be present at the moment of doing the withdrawal. However, the power of attorney is not going to be given to these individuals yet. Once you get the power of attorney, you keep it with yourself, with your documents, and only when you need to make a withdrawal. And if you're not able to be present at the moment to withdraw the money, then you use a power of attorney. For example, I'm gonna put an example on my mother. My mother is currently living in my home country, but because of health reasons, she cannot come to the U.S. and claim her IRA, the money from her account. What she has done is that she gave a power of attorney to my brother, who can visit my mom, who can be here, and he is actually conducting all the legal procedures in order for my mom to receive the money from her IRA. That is how it works. In this case, she chose my brother, but she could have chosen somebody else, like my father. She could have chosen one of her friends, one of her cousins, It is advisable to have, like I said, to have 2 or 3 powers of attorney with persons that you fully trust. as a legal permanent resident or a U.S. citizen. You will keep the power of attorney with you until you need it, and always consult with the custodian of the IRA custodian. This means that before when you at the time of signing the agreement with the IRA, make sure that you ask these questions to the IRA custodian. If it's possible for somebody else to represent you with using a power of attorney to withdraw the money in case that you are not able to be present. Now, in the state of California, this is a new program that has started, Cal Savers. Cal Savers is a workplace-based retirement program developed by the state of California that will enable employees to make automatic payroll contributions into a personal individual retirement account, or commonly known as IRA. These plans will be professionally managed with the state oversight. Employee participation is completely voluntary and there's no cost to the employers. This is very important. This is very important because a lot of the times the retirement options are not offered by employers because they come with a cost associated, which is usually absorbed by the employer. However, this program, it's not like that, it's different. The program is being designed to be self-sustaining so that there will be no taxpayer funding and no employer or state liability for the program. Another advantage of this program, which is starting on July 1st, 2019, is that it's what they call portable. That means that if for some reason I'm working today with this organization or this company, and tomorrow I move to work with another company or another employer, I can take my account with me. All I gotta say is just let know my new employer that I have this account, and Cal Savers will send the information to him to enroll into the program, and then I can continue contributing to my account. If you have any questions or comments, you please feel free to reach Claudia Moreno, who's the Southern California Outreach Manager and part of the Small Business Majority. Her phone number right here and email address as well. Or simply go to www.smallbusinessmajority.org. That is www.smallbusinessmajority.org. Now, be aware, there are many companies out there selling what they call financial plans. A lot of the times, these companies only focus on selling insurance policies and not actual retirement accounts. So always consult with your tax professional before making a decision on those financial tools. This is more of a reality check if you're a DACA recipient. DACA is not a permanent program and it has been under attack since the beginning. And call to action. Do you have a retirement account? If no, this is the time for you to start looking for one. This is a reminder. The oldest DACA recipient is 37 years old today. He or she still has about 25 years to work on a retirement fund. If you're a non-DACA recipient, this is more emphasis on opening an account. Ask your tax expert. This needs your immediate attention because it's not about today, but it's also laying the foundations for the future, for a fruitful future. You definitely don't want to wait until you turn 50 or 60 to start thinking about your retirement account. This is a chart, a 37-year-old who plans to retire at the age of 65 with an annual contribution of $5,000 will have a total contributions of $140,000. And let's see, total IRA before taxes, if it grows, it will be about $431,000 with $733. Or IRA after taxes will be $366,000 with 973 cents. So you can see how much it can grow potentially. Here in this other graph, you can see it as well. You can start at zero. You can start at zero right here. Let's see. You can start at zero and how it can potentially grow to a $239,000 with $823 taxable account with your savings, or traditional IRA to $431 $431,733. Now, this is not an easy task. Let's face it. It has some challenges, and it will require a lot of discipline and work on your own every person. But it all depends on how much you want to create these retirement funds. So first of all, organize your finances. Prioritize. Create a budget and set your goals. Cut unnecessary expenses. Yes. Take a look at how you're spending your money. Sometimes we think we're not spending a lot of money, but that coffee, $4 or $5 coffee that you're buying every single day, at the end of the month adds up to $150,000, which can translate into $1,800 a year. $2,000, close to $2,000 that you could be contributing to your IRA account if you just stop drinking that cup of coffee. So the recap. The immigrant community can enjoy a retirement fund as well. There are a few extra steps involved, but it's totally possible. This is my contact information, Jorge Alvarez. I'm part of the Entrepreneurship Fellowship for 2018-2019. You can find me at jorge@immigrantsrising.org or at my linkedin.com/in/Jorge Alvarez. Get your undocumented hustle, and let's go on. Now, we're going to be covering a couple of questions that people sent throughout the presentation. One of them is it possible to open both an IRA account, traditional IRA and Roth IRA at the same time? Unfortunately, that is not possible. You can either open one traditional IRA or Roth IRA, but you cannot have two accounts at the same time. Another question is it possible to have two IRA accounts as a couple, if you're a married couple? No. A married couple can only have one IRA account, and again, there's a maximum that you can contribute to your IRA account, which is double. Basically, instead of having two accounts, you can contribute double the amount, $12,000 or $12,000 a year that you can contribute as a married couple. Somebody else is asking also, what are the amounts? Yes, $6,000. Maximum amounts to contribute $6,000 in a year before the age of 50, or $6,500 once you reach the age of 50 or older until the moment of withdrawal, which usually happens at the age of 59. How can I maximize if I cannot, if I cannot contribute more than $5,000 a year in this account, what can I do? Oh, that's a good question. A lot of the times what people do is that they contribute the maximum to their IRA accounts, and they open, let's say if you have a 401k account, they contribute the rest into the 401k. If you have one of those other accounts, but that's another way of doing it. So you max out your IRA, and then whatever is left, if you still have more money for contributions, you can do it in your other accounts, other retirement accounts that you may have. Yes. What resources would you recommend? Well, I'll recommend you to the couple of books that I will recommend you. One of them is called Total Transformation of Your Money by James Ramsey, and also Rich Dad Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. These two books, I highly recommend them because they will teach you how to get out of debt if you are in that situation, and it will help you to have a clear path on how to start working towards your retirement. Definitely. Well, that has been for today. Thank you very much for being part of this webinar. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. Thank you very much.